Welcome back to VCT Americas, where Loud is breaking the hearts of NRG fans around the world as they steal map 2 at the final hour. Wyatt, a 13-11 map victory on Bind, of all things.
Yeah, the home map for NRG, the map they've gone to for years at this point. And again, it's what we talked about before, Loud continuing to innovate. They're the only team running Chamber on this, on this map in this league, and able to get a win over the best Bind team possibly, arguably, in the world with it. And Sadhawk doing a complete reversal on his performance against EG as well, individually going off.
And it's so cool to see them coming out and performing with this comp, because they were the team that innovated Harbor Viper. They have the best Harbor in the world on their team. You'd expect them to want to play into that meta more, but instead they keep innovating, keep showing new ideas, and have even added more to this Chamber, in my opinion, from when we saw it against you guys. They had so many different setups on that defensive side, and on top of that, the end of that game, despite some huge clutches from NRG, Loud was calm enough to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, when we played against Loud, they did a lot of similar things they did here against NRG, just really conditioned them. And then obviously they have the star power and Aspas and Sadak. I mean, it just looked like it was firing on all cylinders. I mean, I kind of jinxed it in the 3v2 at the end there, but
hey. we weren't going to put you on blast. I'm glad you did it yourself.
You can just do it, man. It's okay.
But I'm sure you as well can speak to what it's like to play against a team that seems to be setting the meta for the rest of the league in a lot of ways. As Mimi mentioned, they introduced that Harbor Viper, and now they seem to be kind of showing the answer to the own meta that they set.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're definitely trying to create a new meta. I mean, they've been innovators since the start of this game, and I think a lot of people just follow what they do. And I think they're trying to do this now with Chamber, especially with the new buffs that are coming in here and there, but yeah.
But that win puts NRG in a really bad spot, because we came in thinking that would be the best map for them in this pool. We thought it could even be a mistake for Loud to leave it open. But now NRG stands 2 maps down in this series. They are 1 away from getting 3-0'd, from Loud continuing their dominance in never losing a regional title, now into the Americas League.
And history just repeating itself for NRG again, despite getting wins on the international stage, despite always being at the top, never being actually able to just win a title in their own region here in Americas.
And reverse sweeps are so hard. There's never been one on the main VCT stage in VALORANT. The one time at Game Changers Championships was just an anomaly, if anything. So this is going to be very difficult for NRG, especially since we're going to Fracture next, which you guys just played against Loud on this map. They just introduced this new comp with the double controller Neon and looked incredible with it.
Yeah, I mean, when we played against them, this was one of the hardest comps to play against. We're pretty good on Fracture, especially on Sova. But I think as soon as you let a team like Loud get in sight, I feel like their post plants are just unbelievable and it's very hard to break through.
NRG essentially looking to do the impossible here, and it has to start on Fracture. So Wyatt, let's talk maybe a little bit about how they can get it done, whether or not it's an individual that they need to target or just an individual on NRG that you feel like you don't, or rather aren't getting enough out of as of yet in this series. Where are you looking?
Well, one of the major issues on Bind was that Loud were actually able to get a ton of first kills, specifically targeting on the defensive side. They were shutting down Victor, who's that ruthless entry player. And then when the side switched and Loud were on attack, they were doing an excellent job of dealing with FNS. So I'm looking a lot as to who's actually going to be getting the first kills in this game.
If there was a test for the veterans of NRG, it would be right here, right now. Chet and Finesse have led this team to be the most successful squad of the pre-partnership era. And now here in 2023, if they want an Americas title, they need the reverse sweep, and they need to have the preparation against this new comp for Loud.
Being on stage in high-pressure moments, every individual is, of course, unique in the way that they deal with it. But what would you be saying to the NRG guys right now if you needed to get them back in it?
Hey, just start out 0-0. We just started the series. Let's try to get a 3-0 here. That's all you need.
Clean slate, baby. Let's see if they can do it. Can NRG pull off the reverse sweep, rather? Let's find out as we send it back to your casters. Here's Doug and Bala.
Thank you so much, Dash Ball. As we think about the possibility, right, the what ifs, I can't help but think that it's going to require a little bit of magic. There's been a lot of magic for NRG on the side of Crashies. Yeah. He's delivered, but is it going to be enough to get us to map 5?
It absolutely cannot run out. I mean, Com spoke about how difficult this composition is to go up against. Loud playing the Neon. kind of a mix of two different ideas. The old optic idea with the KO, with the Neon, with the Breach, being execute heavy, but then also the Omen Viper that you've seen teams like Na'Vi be so consistent with. Allows so much different ideas, especially on defense.
It looks like we have a setup here on the northern side.
You have 4 players.
And Tui's has a paranoia. He's here for the setup. If there's contact, this could be a trap. And this could be a disaster.
He didn't throw it.
Smoke out. He's waiting for it now. There's the paranoia. The swing out. As both are just stunned. It's a stalemate at the beginning of the round. Dancing around the utility. Nobody can see a thing. Everyone flashed.
Spike down, B.
And the spike is still not out. NRG have calmed things down for now.
Kanzin wants to die there, so Tuyas can take his position underneath. But he does let him out. He was hoping there that NRG continue to go forward, but with Victor lurking all the way through a drop, through a site, through into halls, all of a sudden, you're seeing them set up for a really nice post point, but they also have Tuyas who got the information early. The rotate is here, and he's also on the flank.
They're turning back to him. Expecting the aggression, what?
Can he get on the rope? No, he doesn't even know what's on the other side, so he has to stay, actually. And somehow, some way, Les has even gotten to a really nice position for himself, too.
That deep flash went into spawn, so you're right. Les has gone unchecked so far. Sam having to go exploratory. Regretting it now. Les cleans him up. The wall, the only thing keeping him up for now. 48 HP was not going to stand a 2v2 as the spike has been planted. Crashy's going forward right into the weak lap of Sadak.
And Tuyas' turn to strike took so long.
Remember how good he's been in pistols. Another opportunity for him to deliver.
Cover going out.
First one not gonna land. This time it's Crashies who finally gets NRG their first pistol of the series.
I can't believe that, too. Given how close this series has been on the first 2 maps. The fact that that just comes now, the fact that we're just going to be starting to talk about their anti-ecos and their bonuses, Loud has definitely been in control economically. On 3 out of 4 halves that we've had so far. See if NRG can snowball to something similar to what Loud did. There, Loud honestly had a great setup to really punish what NRG ended up going for that just didn't spring it. So execution slightly mistimed. And both of the players from Loud there dodged the flash, or the stun, and go in for a reflash. Aspas has actually bought a stinger here.
And he's so out of the play right now. Looks like he was expecting perhaps something out of dish, but now going forward, rotating quickly. You see it, he just gets there in record time. Well, a benefit of being outrageously fast. Meanwhile, that fight on the northern side, up by dish. There's Tui's who went exploring, and he finds Victor.
They're gonna go for a repush here. This is NRG's bread and butter.
Meanwhile, Aspas has already left. He's rotating off. There's a lot to be had here.
It's just Artis who, remember, they swapped the stinger onto him, so they're not losing much there. But Kalanzin gets another one, and Aspas is here with his own stinger.
He's already on the site.
He's gonna play these smokes. There could be a flash. No, he's fighting!
Just a 1-for-1.
Sadak had a flash. I thought for sure with his arrival here timely, he would have gone for that. Instead, there's actually just kills traded.
It's a stinger and a sheriff.
Can he get up drop to get the gun?
Planted.
He does.
The Seekers too to cause some problems. Both Crashies and Sam sitting on site. The Trailblazer, the Molly. Sam catching some high ground, just barely slipping the net. Can Kalanzin and Les take this back? Will the retake work? Remember, they didn't have much to work with here, and time is short. Sam,
Enemy remaining.
well done by Crashies, leaving it all onto Les. With the flash in his face and time not on his side.
He might get both the kills done, though. No. They'll both survive. If he stays alive for a little bit longer, they have to continue to deal with him. And that ends up being pretty costly from NRG. Not the worst situation, especially given that Aspas actually bought into that. He's still going to have light armor Vandal, no wall, which, honestly, it's really hard to find defensive wall opportunities to use it. It's much, much, much more important on the attack side. Playing musical ropes here on the NRG side, trying to figure out where their default is actually going to be positioned, and it's mostly arcade pressure, with Artist being the one person lurking.
Pull that one way. A little bit of damage onto Kawanzin.
I wonder if they thought it was clear because of a knife early. Didn't see quite where Sadak is throwing it at the beginning, but most of the time, even in tower, you're throwing it all the way across the halls.
Nice nade to buy some time for Sadak, and then the peek too. You see what the setup was there. It was the fault line from Finesse to allow Crashies to take some space.
It's so nice from Sadak to re-clear insta there.
So aggressive, so confident, and he gets a kill out of that.
B.
He's been so good at weathering aggression from NRG this series.
Sadak, what makes him such a strong IGL is despite IGLing taking on the brunt of it, he is always, always consistently able to frag out maybe some games here and there. He's not staying in the pack, but with the team that he has, it's unbelievable that he's even able to do that.
There's just so much firepower on there. Yeah, that
30
you
seconds
wonder,
left.
how is it that Sadak manages to do
These
what he
rounds
does
are
at times?
so confusing. I mean, Tui's is in,
One enemy
Tui's is in
remaining.
their spawn.
Spike
And
down,
so is Victor.
attacker spawn.
They're just trading places, and we're seeing this a lot. I mean, 14
Yes.
seconds, there's obviously no chance here, but
It feels a lot like what we saw at the beginning of Vine.
yeah.
Where they were just kind of passing
Yeah.
around each other, no real sense of where the opposition was.
Somehow the top two teams in Americas have gotten to a position where they're dealing with chaotic situations, which is very often not the case in this region.
One enemy.
And we do see the bonus canceled from NRG, at least the anti-bonus one here for Loud. They actually, because of how that anti-eco was really, really poor, only 2 players survived from NRG. They've got a very low investment into this. Still, 1 hero rifle though, on the side of Crashies.
Paranoia is going to be good, and Aspas can go off of this.
He's really close. With a stun too, this could be disgusting.
There it is. There's the Paranoia, but the Trailblazer
No follow-up.
should have bought some time. I mean, that was the cue for them to go in the first place.
These trap plays that Loud are setting up, they're really not springing it entirely. They're using it in different ways.
It's now Aspas who's getting bullied. But Loud are not willing to give up any of the space. They do not back down. They do not relent.
Victor pinching. A moment of respite here.
Player standing. Spike down.
And it's short-lived. It's so short-lived.
It's returned back into it. Kawanzin there with the re-push. I was talking about how those traps are not getting sprung perfectly for Loud. The timing is slightly off. But no, actually, it's because they have a secondary layer. They have the follow-up. Just burst right back through with the aftershock with a secondary flash out of Kawanzin, and that's when they strike. False sense of security for NRG. After that paranoia comes through, they're like, oh, it's over. We can just take the space now. They have nothing else. It's a false reality.
What is real here is this aggression from NRG early in this round. All 5 of them close by. And we're set up for another clash. Aspas flashed, not able to get the peek behind the angle at first as the kills go traded, 1 for run. And you've got to see there's a huge flank coming in from the northern side. NRG are trapped. They have nowhere to go.
They smoked the turret too.
The Paranoia out from Tui's.
He's just locked down underpass right now. Victor's still going for this round, and actually it's huge. Because the players from the north side pinch, after they got the first kill, they fell off. They said, that's enough for us. Sadak's dead.
He is absolutely dead.
I mean, we've been seeing over and over teams go for plays into the lockdown before it disperses. That one definitely ill-advised. And it's not even towards this B site that the hit is going. NRG have worked Loud here, completely outplayed them. They just got to follow up with the kills. And now the realization, it wasn't even this B site at all.
I mean, the fact that they've right-sized things given how the round started is outrageous in and of itself. But now they have to finish. Victor's not going to be able to apply any late pressure. Loud with the numbers advantage. And Finesse gone exploring. He has plenty of utility too. Can he find the right timing? Can Sam hold the line on his
Might ult
own?
to delay right now.
There it is. Buy some time, find a window, and Finesse punishes. Now the fault line too. A really good idea of where Les is.
Great aftershock.
Very well done. Can Tui's win the 1v2? A 1v1 now, flashed up, 5 HP. Trying to deal some damage, but for Finesse, you imagine it's a formality, and it is. Whew. That was close.
But he did such a good job on so many fronts there. The fact that he re-pushes up the rope will not have to rush through spawn, clear a lot of space, and then give up any of the other space that they don't go for. Finesse walks around it, creeps his way in, and then the aftershock on drop was perfect for both anybody standing on top, which he didn't know, and anybody standing down below. And Sam as well, using his ult to delay.
Get out of my way.
NRG have really outplayed Loud in these first couple of rounds, despite some really nice setups by Loud. And despite the economic flow of the game not going their way.
Here's another setup. They have 3 in halls. Meanwhile, NRG is trying to hold with 2.
That's
Victor the first to
unexpected.
fall. Crashies with the trade. That flash is nice, but he's got to get out of there. Seekers,
popped.
and he's getting out. Neo ropes. Does that buy enough time? It does, just barely. Meanwhile, Art is trying to reaggress with the blades.
Blocking sight.
Crashes can't die on the rope, it's his spot, it's his signature.
Can Artist find any more value with his ult? He's looking for it, and everyone's flashed. The stun not landing. Now they're gonna push him! And Sam's the perfect trap! Sadak left into 1v3. Just a tap onto the spike now, and they wait patiently. They swing with utility, and they take the round.
The fact that all of the NRG players held on there for the longest time, again, in dangerous scenarios.
One enemy remains.
So many flashes, so many stuns coming in from Loud on that side to try to retake, to push them out of position. And they plant themselves firm. Timeout of Loud. The first time out of the game for either side, and Loud definitely, again, able to do so much damage on the anti-eco, able to follow up and win the anti-bonus. That should have given them room to start to cascade some rounds together here on Fracture. But instead, NRG is making this chaotic, making this full of guesses out of the Loud defense. This is why this matchup is so good. The head-to-head battles between the two teams mid-rounding, the IGLs, and now the coach is getting involved as well. There's so much room now for Loud to dig deep and really try to think back to that one game that NRG played all the way back. The great thing about this for NRG, despite it being Loud's map pick, is they've only played this once. They haven't played it throughout this entire lower bracket run.
Sure.
So they have more that they have not shown, for sure.
Light buyout for Loud here, and you see the pings on the mini-map. It seems like they want to set something up with the fault line, take some of this early space.
Here.
And then Pounce B. Waiting for the aggression, expecting it. Suspecting a move from Loud that does not come.
Leading up to Crashes right now, it was so silent at the beginning of this round. I could hear Crashes make the call pre-round.
Yep.
You know how much those veterans contribute. You know how much is asked of them in this moment.
Poison's off.
And you could see, actually, they wanted to look for a pick on close B. Crashes instead rotates back to Halls, uses his dog to get through against this eco from Loud. They're really trying to figure out what the eco strat is here, because there are so many tools, and we've seen them for traps over and over.
Just doesn't seem like there's been enough to commit yet, and well, that would be a large investment.
It's not for Tower, though.
Did Les get hit? Les may have not gotten hit! And the nade buys some time. Les is able to pick up the weapon and get the kill on Artist!
It's not just a nade there, Doug. There's a Viper Molly on top of it, too. The tools
Aspas not able to find any value with the ult, but Loud's Judge delivers.
Sadak picks up a Phantom. Psalm has his ult again. It's Finesse and Psalm 2 VX in tandem.
Orbital strike used. Up in tower to buy some time to funnel him right into Finesse's lap. 2v2 now. Tui's has nothing but a Sheriff. It's Kalanzine who's got the greater weaponry. First shot's not landing. No shot! Loud, pull that off!
That's an eco. That right there is a thrifty. I know what that means. I can translate for you. You got ecoed. That is crazy. The setup that they had there, the Molly out of less, for him to fight with that Rolling Thunder that came in, the nade lands on top of it, perfectly timed to one tap the first player through the tip of the spear. And NRG can't be happy about that. Looks like they might want to go fast through the one way that they normally place with the stun that comes out from Finesse.
Meanwhile, Aspas has an op on the opposite side of the map, so if they don't gain any traction, if they're not able to turn this into something, they may end up rotating back, but they find an opener.
And Kalanzine there definitely was scared of them going through. They don't have the Neon in this comp, but they do have the Jet. Jet can dash through. And so his stun was way advanced, much closer to the door. Tui's peeks off of it, and there's nobody stunned.
Smoke's invested by some, and Artist fills the space. Now lockdown used too, but NRG have taken everything that they could possibly want at this point. Delayed just for the time being. And they've left Sam here by himself. He gets spammed through the smoke. And now they have the pit they're gonna have to deal with.
Pit retake. Spike is planted in the corner. Kalanzine finds the lurk on Victor too.
This is gonna be so difficult to deal with. I don't know that they really have enough tools to deal with this pit other than spam. I mean, Finesse has an aftershock, but that's it.
Yo, Pearl might be banned, but we're right back to it.
The spam's through. Kalanzine sticking it. Oh,
got half though.
3/4 of the way.
Next, it's up to Sadak.
It's just a tap in the face of the stun. They have to reposition, and Loud take the fight to NRG.
Excuse me? Sadak just spammed 2 through the pit. And you gotta smile if you're Sadak about that one. That is crazy. And the great thing about that decision from Loud, they don't rely on the spam.
Yeah.
They don't rely on them getting lucky and not getting killed here. That was the last 2 bullets of his clip. He gets 2 kills.
Four apiece here between these two squads. The finance is not looking good for NRG, and that's going to be enough for Chet to call the timeout. You see it on the timeline too, and we look at it here in a moment. The rounds have just gone back and forth. 2 for NRG, then 2 for Loud. 2 for NRG and 2 for Loud back again. See the ebb and flow of this map has fortunately fit with how the series has gone. It's just been blow for blow every step of the way.
Despite that being the case within the maps, despite that fact, we might be tied, but Louder 2-0 up in the series. And I don't think that fact is settled in yet. As we get closer towards this end of this game, if this stays close, Loud are going to be approaching becoming the first America's champions. That's what's on the line right now. And NRG's been forced again to save. It's been 2 rounds in a row for Loud. Loud are the ones who've gotten the only thrifty round win, the only eco of the series so far. Can NRG do the same on demand?
Will they be able to give the crowd a reason to return the chant? Aspas already getting the opener with the op. Finesse patiently buying his time, waiting to swing. And they're gonna try to bully Sadak. And they do. He's already down. Is there gonna be the opportunity to upgrade a weapon though? Yeah, Finesse is the one who picks up the Phantom. They get the spike down.
Aspas opping on the retake. These spams are so good, just forcing the planter off site. And going for it.
You see Crash, he's having to peek back spawn. Make sure there's no one coming.
There's only 1 molly on the spike.
Start to see some of the utility come back up. There's the fall line out from Finesse. Nothing tapped yet. Aspas with the shorty kill. A 1-for-1 is Crashies once again has to play hero. He's got to play hero again because Tui's off the pole. But Victor saves the day.
Crashies is just so good. How is he doing that? Picks up the Vandal again, low buy for them. Instantly swaps to the next. And it's like he just knows where they are.
Thrifty.
The OG duo delivers.
I wondered when this would happen. When it would change from NRG chance to Crashy's chance. After another heroic play.
Blocking sight.
NRG trying to be pacey here. The Trailblazer to pave the way to push Kalanzine back. But again, you see the benefit of running a Neon in comps like this.
I've got your
Reinforcements have already shown up.
I mean, his op's already been neutered. The freeze from NRG came in on Sands. Then they pop, then they strike. And now they have the tools for this real post plant. In the prior round, they only had one Molly. They only had Sheriffs.
They're gonna try to funnel out of heaven.
What?
So aggressive.
Can't believe he escaped.
Artist spamming through. You see the op shots continuing to rattle off on the site. Remember, they still have Psalm's orbital strike. Crashy's caught. Trying to take a deep breath, inhale. And it's Aspas who falls. Looking to hold the line a bit more as Sadak follows suit. Numbers NRG. They invest the orbital strike, but that should secure the round.
One enemy remaining.
Just now, Tui's with really nothing to do. Save the op, live to fight another day.
Did get out. And I'm not sure. I want to continue this if I'm Aspas. As this Neon, he found the first kill on the other side, but that was just a one-off thing. Now that they know he's going for it, you're seeing explosions out of NRG onto the sites. Either way, the way that NRG played this, they used their util before they even got on the site. And Loud is thinking, with the time ticking, how long it took them to get Sands control, that they're going to go for a post plan, that they're going to start using mollies on the spike. Instead, NRG uses those to delay, and Loud is caught in between, using their util to get back on the site fast. Here's that dash I was talking about.
Off of the stammy too, it's pacey. It's right into the op of Aspas.
I mean, it's perfectly read from Loud too to put Loud in that position, or put Aspas in that position, away from the stun, deep on the sight line. Went for a re-clear on drop. NRG still not satisfied with what they got in halls there. You saw how fast they split up from 4 walking back towards B to just 2.
The alarm bar, a threat of what might be on the other side of the wall. And that's just enough for Victor to take a step back. If he's not careful, he may get into some trouble here too. Les is close by. There it is. Another shot delivered. Another kill secured. And all of a sudden, the potential of another eco. They're so split up as well. I mean, it's just a spike by himself. Meanwhile, Crashies is on the opposite side of the map.
One enemy
This would be
remaining.
the second Thrifty for Loud. It was just an op and pistols, and look at where they find themselves now.
Smoke's down.
30 seconds left.
The spam, some, surely a dead man walking at this point. Loud convert, a flawless round.
And again, light weaponry. That saved op actually comes in huge. And the thing that I didn't think about before this, and you saw it exposed right there by Loud. NRG with just the single controller. You find these gaps when they want to pivot, when NRG is a pivot-heavy team. There's openings where there's not going to be sightlines blocked. You might have already used your smokes. You don't have that Neon to recover like they used to play. Like Loud has in their toolkit. He's going for an aggressive peek. Artist got the op though this time, head-to-head.
Can he get the space? First kill is going to be in favor of Artist, but the ult used. And it's just a threat now. The question is, how quickly do NRG fill? Take ropes to the northern side, and they reset.
Crazy part here is, with that overdrive used by Aspas, they're not even really sure where the op is on the map. A lot of times you'll see these ults from the duelists come out to be used as weapons, and you pass the op to another side.
But he still has it. They've split. They invest the lockdown. Finesse is waiting on the other side, and Aspas smoked off. Has to respect it.
My ult's ready.
No follow-up, no funnel from NRG.
Saw Sadak get punished much the same way, looking for a kill way late. And there, the Neon can get to safety at least.
NRG confirming that there's no flank from the southern or northern side, and they can turn their attention all towards spawn. And here's where Sam is. Artist getting one with the op. The wall concealing Aspas.
Stuffed him with the barrel.
Peeks behind the wall and it's netted to kill his Artist, looking to take lives with the knives, and he does!
You should have seen your
An ace for Artis.
Poison's gone.
His second in the league.
3.
Enemy remaining.
Now in the grand finals, it's so huge. And that's the end of the half, too. NRG have come out to another 7-5 lead. They didn't win the one on ascent. See if this changes.
We talked about it. It might require magic. There was a little magic from Artist. Let's throw it over to Dash at the desk to break down that half.
Thank you so much, Doug. NRG coming up with a massive 12th round to give themselves a 7-5 advantage, akin to the first map, Sean. But the question becomes, is that enough? 7-5 lead over Loud on Fracture?
And it's going to be real sketchy. That's a really good question, because now that they switch halves, they're going to go against this KO, against this Neon. And typically you would want the Cypher in that scenario, right? Because you can play cross map and avoid things. It's going to be a lot on Vic that's have to stop Aspas in these sites. But also, Les is going to be lurking underpass at B. And I think he is about to pop off in this half.
He was so good in this composition last time they played it. But the thing is, this lead should have been even bigger for NRG. Loud got away with so many thrifties, so many rounds that they should not have in that first half. And like you're saying, this is where this comp becomes very strong. If Loud win the pistol round, this becomes so dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it against EG, one of the best Fracture teams in the league, in the world, how explosive Loud could be on that attack. So big worries for the NA fans right now.
There's also already enough pressure on the gameplay itself, Mimi, but you add to that this is a series half, essentially, for Loud. Loud trying to lock it up, reestablish dominance in a domestic region, but for NRG hunting for what has eluded them their entire career.
For NRG, all they can hope for is a title, and you want a dominant map. You want something to build confidence, but you're again facing Loud on a map they are so strong on a composition that they've only had to show once before.
And if I'm FNS right now, I think I have some kind of solution for this Lurk Viper wall on B. Les is going to put it up, he's going to deny all arcade info, and he's going to try to get underpass. And if that happens, FNS is in big trouble in this in-game leader role.
If NRG cannot find a solution, it'll be yet another domestic title slipping away from them.
For Loud, they need 8 rounds to crown themselves VCT Americas champions. For NRG, it's 6, and you buy yourself another map. Let's see if they can get it done as we head to the second half. Back over to Doug and Bala.
A lead for NRG, but a narrow one at that. And now we have to figure out how are Loud going to execute this comp that's intended to be fast, that's intended to be pacey, off of stuns, flashes, and then the go button from Aspas. I mean, we're going to see it right off the bat here too, Bala.
All 5 players up on top. 4 frenzies bought up, just Tui's. The paranoia smoke.
Starting to farm up some of the orbs for Sadak. You see what their intentions are.
They're just dry walking. This is actually crazy. Right out of the NRG strap book.
Artist is taking so much damage already.
Somehow, NRG have walked into underpass at this point. They literally traded sides.
Aspas might be behind him, and I don't think they're gonna know. Aspas, there's the frenzy, finding the kill. And now they have to turn attention that way. That was close. Not able to deliver. Aspas still causing problems in spawn. Like a pesky gnat that has to be dealt with.
They had to smoke him off. They had to spend one of Sam's last remaining smokes on him.
Oh, this looks like another pistol. It's gonna go in favor of Loud unless Crashies can do it again. No, he cannot.
Shutting them down.
Just one pistol for NRG. Everything else goes Loud's favor. They're so strong. throughout the playoffs on them, but now faltering in the final moment. And with the lead was in their grasp. They did get that one thrifty round win, but asking it here when there's rifles abound for Loud. Such a difficult ask. Artist with the Marshall though. Aspas gets across that angle so fast.
And even then, I thought Artist had a chance at one, but the Bulldog from Tui's is good. And it's just pistols now for NRG. Remember here what's at stake. Obviously the grand finals, obviously the very first title in VCT America's history. But a deep rivalry with so much history. Now the 9th time these two teams play, and they're tied at 4 apiece. Potentially one map away, one half away from Loud closing the books on this. Sam's gotten a gun here. He's gotten a rifle. He has no armor though, and he's got less hot on his tail. The stomping just not on his side as they continue to pass by one another, and that's going to draw the rotates right back. Sam is dead. Spike was already headed
30
B.
seconds left.
I mean, Sadak and Tui's were literally sitting in the defensive spawn for less to make a play, for less to determine whether they could come into that B site. He did that and more, and then you saw as soon as that kill comes in, they come through to go for the final plant, but that was not easy. That was not great. Out of the Loud side. And you can see that reflected in their buy. 2 Sheriffs, a Spectre still. Sadak had that in the last. NRG now a chance.
Seems like they want to apply some pressure, and the pressure works out. Les had no chance to respond. Start to see some of the spam coming through as Sam's getting another. It's just Aspas who's got a rifle now. Loud quietly choosing to reset. Making very little noise, giving away very little of their hand.
It's been so quiet these last 2 rounds, trying to find ways back into it. The double tower setup, though, is going to be, I mean, incredibly tough to get through. And it looks like they want to clear and peek. If they spot Aspas, or if Aspas even gets a kill here, all of a sudden this opens up wide.
That flash confirming.
Surprised not to see Finesse follow up with a flash of his own
Yeah.
in that situation.
Or even a swing for that matter, but either way.
They're getting up on the site here.
Aspas is close. Oh, he still gets one? Still traded back though.
Planted.
Still healthy, and now NRG seem to be avoiding disaster, seem to be getting out of this one. Sam's gonna get on the defuse, he's gonna get it to half, 3/4 of the way, 80-90, done.
Instantly converting the anti-bonus.
I'm over them.
And Loud, 2 rounds in a row now where it goes crazy in the early situations. And forces them to slow way down. This is because of this push at NRG. Then when they finally decide, Crashes is ready to spring, the players in tower are ready to spring.
Yes, my ult's ready.
Very nice execution out of NRG. They maintain the lead still. Not something they were able to do on Ascent. That quickly slipped away.
One suppressed.
The whole setup from Victor. Down on this tree, and Aspas just working it against Finesse. That's before that wall comes up. And you can see, the style they ran against EG was very, very execute heavy. Now it's a lot slower. Trying to find picks prior.
NRG trying to take some space in response to the noise that Aspas just made, and Loud were already ahead of it. Already rotating back A. And getting the punish off of it.
And Tui's is hearing the rotations, by the way. So he's calling them all the way back. He just sat in underpass, listening to how Victor's moving, how the other players are moving. So now it's just Victor all alone. And by the way, they broke that util much earlier in the round.
Aspas single-handedly removed the setup and then removes Victor. Loud in a position to tie us up at 8. We wondered how NRG would be able to weather the aggression of this comp, and truthfully, yeah, there's been some of that, but honestly, Loud have been manipulating NRG's rotation so beautifully.
And the 2 different paces out of Loud as well. Significant. The way they're rotating around too is really causing Finesse to struggle to make the right calls. Now they're gonna hunt the guns down. And I do also have to say, Aspas feeling a lot more comfortable this day on the Neon than prior. You're obviously still seeing some minor things, because Aspas has actually never played Neon prior to that EG series.
That's one of them down.
He looks great today.
Yeah, he does.
6 and 1 on the first kills on Fracture.
I mean, in this round, again, not only does he get finesse, but then he instantly clears out the turret, instantly clears out the alarm bot. He's just been unreal.
You have to put a body now on it. On that KJ util, you gotta be challenging Aspas, you gotta be trading the turret, that sort of thing, or at least attempting it. And as soon as you do that, all of a sudden, Loud can start hitting you with the fast XX. Although I will say as well, the KJ very good at delaying some of those Neon Wall executes. But those are things that chat's gotta figure out. What is the counterplay going to be from NRG? Because if not, Aspas are gonna continue working them and lead his team to end this series on this map.
Tied up at 8 on the other side of this timeout. Som has the orbital strike. Artist with nothing but, well, I thought it was a stinger, but they've actually handed it over to Crashies, and they've put the Vandal in the hands of the Duelist.
They're pinging their own spawn right now. Really concerned about Aspas pushing up into spawn like he did in the prior. On the pistol and caught Finesse and saw him by surprise while the rest of his team was nowhere near. And against the same sort of thing, Finesse though, able to open up on his counterpart of Sadak.
It's a split setup from Loud too. With Sadak and Les who are on that opposite side of the map. Meanwhile, the Spike and everyone else is towards B. And again, you hear the quiet, you feel the tension. Not just in the arena, but in the server. Teams historically so well matched up, bringing the best out of one another when the lights are at their brightest, and Aspas continues to deliver. Crashies on the aggressive swing. It's actually Victor who gets a kill, and Aspas has to tuck tail and get out.
Really nice stun from Finesse there in spawn.
That's a spike.
Crashies are controlling it now, but he's only got that stinger. Remember, so he can't really go for it too. This smoke is gonna fade and Crashies is gonna be sat inside.
Flashing outside of it. Getting knowledge of what may be there. You've got Victor's to help too. Crashies falls. And that's gonna give up the spike, yeah.
But Som has his ult right now, 22 seconds, that's not a lot of time to play.
Can Victor hold the line? It's just less on the other side of this smoke. They've picked up the spike, and you're right, time is short. He's trying to find an opening as he cannot. Now with 10 seconds left, the clock will harmlessly expire as NRG not just hang on to the map, but take the lead back.
Eventually, it essentially comes through with a stack on top of Crashies, trying to reinforce that position. Is too hard to get through the smokes from Aspas. Yes, he's doing work against that KJ util. But again, at the beginning of round 2, Finesse takes a risk and just goes for spam. It's that sort of thing that's keeping them in this game.
My ultimate is ready. You stopped thinking.
Aspas is having himself a game right now, 20-11.
Yeah, he is.
Feels like he's getting value every single round in the last 4. Maybe this entire half.
Pushing him forward so aggressively, using his ult. Sadak doing a bit of the same, but nice spam out from Finesse. So you're
Same
right.
situation, but he's getting rest up because of that no command. And they've given up the position. They're gonna fight Halls here.
Yeah, it seems like they are. It's right into less! It's right into less! They have full Halls control now. They have the entire map.
How many times have we seen this situation where they just run away from Halls? They came through, drop, take the site, ult into Halls, take 2, and run through. How is that the decision that's made? They're really, really making Finesse think. And what started off with him getting that first kill, it looked like it. Sadak does not fall. No command right before. Like he's a Phoenix ult.
And now you see the outcome. After that outrageous hit off of the Rolling Thunder, the Lightning of Cause followed by the Thunderclap of Effect, NRG have to save.
And the quiet in the crowd is loud. Again, tie it back up. It's thunderous. It's so ridiculous. The situation that is unfolded before us in this grand finals, loud, creeping ever closer despite the lead from NRG.
And the thing is, that really is fitting of what we've had so far. Every map has been close. Every map, it's been like NRG hanging on to a lead or mounting some sort of ferocious comeback, and it goes down to the wire, and it seems like this third map is no different. Guns back online for NRG, 3 ults to work with too.
The fact it's this close, it's hilarious that during Loud's somewhat struggles to close out series against weaker opponents, people started to doubt their map pool. People started to say, do they have something on Fracture? Are they going to be good on Bind when it comes out?
NRG want to go fast, and they've heard Aspas tuck under, but there's a counter punch, and Som holds it beautifully.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
Artist takes a fair bit of damage, but he gets in on the action too. I mean, blow for blow.
You were talking about it earlier, tit for tat now. Back and forth. And that's the first time you see Aspas and the rest of his team get punished when they go for tree control. Normally Aspas is diving across that side, but they just got wiped out by the aggression out of NRG.
Deployed.
I mean, they have plenty of money here. You see a Loud's bankroll, it's deep. And any sort of gun that they can take out of the hands of NRG is magnified in the long run. And that's 2. Sadak in a 1v2. 30 seconds left, plenty of time.
1v2 for the ace.
30 seconds
This would
left.
be unreal on
Has
this
a sixth
stage.
sense.
I mean, at best, you're no shot. Sadak has gotten it this far. It's just a 1v1 now. And he still has time. The spam from Victor as he repositions now. 13 seconds left. Victor has a lot of utility here. But the swing out from Sadak with the flash. Waiting. Crosshair trained! And the ace from Sadak!
Out of all people, Sadak has just been a monster today. And it's nasty good too. That's his first ace all season long. And it might just be the dagger in this game. They take their first lead on Fracture. Like that?
You even saw his reaction. He's often a bit of a showman, but he let emotion out that time. Leading from the front. Leading to a 1-round lead against NRG. Bitter rivals.
Finesse is in a great position to punish any push up on B right now with that Rolling Thunder. There's got to be follow-up, though. There's got to be somebody up close. And
They're just going into Artis. Does he have blades out? He does.
the no command. They just got it. It could cancel it entirely.
But do you use it this early?
Do you even need it this early?
But they invested anyway. They've taken care of Artis, and now they trample their way forward, but it seems like NRG are going to try to flood into the site quickly. Sam's in a position to make a play. Tucked in the smoke, getting the spam onto the first, but it's traded back. And now NRG's final defenses fall. Another ace opportunity, this time for less. And it's Aspas who gets the kill, but it's Loud that gets the round.
Inching closer to becoming our first VCT Americas champions. Now within 2. And again, this game, while it might have been close, as we get deeper and deeper, Loud's giving themselves a chance to think about what might happen in a few rounds. This might be over.
And I can't help but think about the ace again. This is where NRG have to respond.
I'm out of here.
You have tools, you have weapons. You've got to convert here, but they've left B, for the most part, empty. Just utility from Victor.
And look, Victor has finally swapped up his KJ util. One is literally placed where Aspas likes to push up into Canteen. And then the mollies are spread.
Time to hunt.
They've gone through hell off of the flash. They see Les, the Trailblazer.
They're pushing.
Grabbing him, but Les holds the line, or at least attempts to. Miss it through all that. Tui's has an op. They drop the Rolling Thunder. They try to catch him, but they're ahead of the play, and they're going to push into spawn. They've got the spike there, and they're still getting the kills that they need. NRG with the numbers advantage now, looking to make it worse, but no, it's equalized.
Sadak doesn't know whether to go into A or just help out his teammate. Kalanzine does make it out, though. Almost made it out with a kill. And it might all come down to Finesse's timing through halls right now.
It's perfect.
Spike down A.
That hesitance from Sadak early on before leaving his
30 seconds
teammate
left.
might have just cost him this round.
And again, at a desperate need to respond, it very well may have cost them more than that. Unless Kalanzine can pull off an outrageous 1v2.
The timing from Finesse there is so good. And the crazy part, the battle between the both IGLs has been not just in the mind. It's been on the server too. It's been head-to-head battles. We've seen that go back and forth so many times now. And Finesse just quicker this time. And honestly, momentum needs to be stopped for Sadak.
5 on the southern
Oh, they're going
side
for a fast
Loud.
push here through halls.
Yes, they
Volley
are.
sent out from Les. Aspas wants to go through the door, but it's used an orbital strike. And it splits them up and cancels the hit.
They've been thrown asunder. Now Crashy's trying to hold the line. Sam gets 2. Such a chaotic opening to the round.
Right here.
And now Sam with an opportunity for more, but it traded back. Crashy 7 bullets, 6 now, and that's enough.
Remaining.
The calamity leaves the reality of the tragedy for Loud as they just got decimated. NRG big on numbers, looking to tie us up at 11.
Poison orb emitting.
Still room for Les to work. His magic, you've seen him moments in this rivalry, in grand finals. Pull out ridiculous clutches still.
This would be outrageous.
Poison off.
This would be historic. He's gotten one. The spam's there. He knows where the other ones are. Dancing around the cover. 1v3 with 35 seconds left. He's got to take it slow. He's got to take it steady. He takes one down with him, but we're tied at 11. This map with stakes just as high
Spike down A.
have happened before. These ones made the stakes a little higher, but we've seen these two teams on this very map in a potential series-ending situation months ago. When the ideas, when the strategies, when the map pools weren't fully fleshed out, when it was a much, much quicker paced tournament back at Lock-In in Brazil. And yeah, it might just feel with the Brazil audience showing up today, it might feel like we're back in time. This time they've got support from the home crowd too. 2 more rounds of regulation. We're going to see both rounds here to determine whether Loud walks away soon as champions, the first of Americas, or whether we go to a map 4, whether we go to an opportunity for NRG to pull this reverse sweep into reality.
Quick moment to catch our breaths as we head back into the action again. Tied up at 11. What's the setup here? And off in the hands of Artis. And he's going to be solo peeking. You imagine the fault line pushes him off this angle if they invest it. But instead, it's a stun, it's a flash, and it's underpass gained. Patience from Artis! And he strikes at just the right time.
Artis has been unfortunately strayed away from the fight between him and Ospas this game. But there you have it. Seeker's pop too. That's something for them to fight for. That's also something for Artis to protect him while the rest of his team joins him in this moment.
They've dropped the lockdown too. Still managing to get the spike down. Is there's gonna be enough room?
Cap?
Yeah, there is. I believe there are 2. They're all huddled in tower. First stop, missing, and now the pit, you're right. What do they have to counter? Artis trying to find a free one through the pit, through the cover. No shorty landing yet. Spike ticking away, Sanok falls as you see the spike continue. Sam pushing forward, it's only 1. It's only 2. Crashies, again, has to be clutch. He's gotten it to half. Does he pull off? He does, but it's too late! Massive play from Tui's.
And Chet's gotta be thinking, not like this, not again. That situation was in hands, but a slight gap in the lockdown and not covered. No molly, no nade, no ult. And it leaves 3 alive to allow the pits back into this tree pressure. Artis, no op this time, can't take down Ospas immediately. But instead re-exploring, they're going for a slow north side crunch. While Finesse plays alone, look at the money. Stinger, Bulldog, a Guardian.
Suboptimal at best. Is this it for NRG? Is this where the road ends?
Trying to hold on for 1 more map. The uncrowned kings of North America, still no regional titles. It might elude them still to this day.
You got pressure in from Artis. Victor close by, and there it is. You start to see some of the spam through, feeling it. They know where they are now. That's enough for Loud to hold.
Concerned about this breach ult here from Kawanzin. They're getting real close to front of halls.
That's the first one. 1 step closer, and there's the Rolling Thunder. Tagging up Sam, but he gets the kill anyway. They've gotten it back and forth. But remember, the guns that they have are not great. This is all that they have left. A Vandal and a Classic who's gonna get upgraded. 2v2 now. It's all on to Victor. Can he hold it back on his own? He gets 1, but that's all it'll be. For now, the rivalry, and more importantly, the history books belong to Loud.
And it is a very long and loud legacy for the players on stage right now. And the rivalry continues to go blow for blow, for blow for blow, for blow for blow. These guys across the stage from each other, so much respect. But that might just be, aside from the regular season showing, the most dominant that Loud have won in the grand finals against this core, against this team.
The 9th time they dance. 9! Such a rich, deep history. And it's Loud that walk away on top.
You want a piece of this?
And then again, to bring us back to a little bit more history for Loud, this is not their first domestic title. This is not their first regional dominance.
Loud have never lost a regional title. And this will be 4 for Sadak at this point. Now both these teams going to Tokyo, both these teams going to champions. But NRG, still with no regional title, that's gonna haunt them.
They've had their chances, they've had their opportunities, and there may have been some asterisks on them previously, but this time, it was all Loud, all the way. And a little love to the crowd, who've been so supportive for him today.
Support all around. Loud are your first VCT Americas champions. We only get one of these. First ever. And they'll go down in history like you said, Doug.
What a moment. What an outrageous moment. And again, we've got to talk about the dominance from them individually because we've lauded, we've praised them, we've talked about how good they are together. But dude, Aspas on the Neon was outrageous in the face of all of the magic that NRG had, and they made a run at it, but it was just too much on Loud.
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing them push into that 7-map pool. They definitely had to dig deep against NRG here. They banned 2 maps that they didn't play well against them last time. And then they come through, show new ones. We thought the looks that we got all season might have been it.
Yep.
Some people said that. I can't believe it. Their 7-map pool is brilliant, and we get a taste of it before Tokyo, before Champions. This team is a real threat on the global stage, and I can't wait.
Which I think was what was expected from everyone, right? But to see the dominant performance they had again for the very first time on this stage, the biggest and the brightest stage that we've had to offer in Americas, for them to dominate the way that they did. 3-0 fashion, and yes, every map was close. Very, very close, but holy smokes, what a performance out of Loud.
It's always close between these two. It literally is always close. They played in so many grand finals, 3 at this point, and it literally, while it might not be, you know, all 5 maps every single time, every map is always close. Loud have just never done that to that core. And obviously new teams, obviously a new system, but man, I can't wait to watch this rivalry continue.
And you know it's going to. Nine times between these two squads is not enough. If you just missed it, if you're just tuning in, I'm so sorry for what you've missed. It was a banger of a series. Loud walk away with a 3-0 win in the grand finals, being crowned the champions of VCT Americas in its inaugural year.
It's ridiculous. It really is. That performance was fantastic, and gotta credit Aspas again, gotta credit Les. That guy was such an anchor so often for them in all 3 maps too. While he didn't have the same lurking presence that he had on the map in the prior series, it still was so good. And Sadak as well, man.
Yeah.
What an explosion of a performance from him. Throughout that last series against EG, we were like, okay, Sadak is Sadak. And then bind happens and we're like, Sadak is Sadak. And then he does that. He hits the dagger. He hits the dagger in this game for sure. Ended it with a 1v3 ace.
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Again, there was really no way for NRG to recover. They made a run at it, but in the face of an ace from Sadak, you're absolutely right. How do you right that ship? There's just no freaking way. Well, friends, we've got GB standing by. We're going to throw it down to him. We're done here. He's standing by on the stage with our grand finals winners. GB, take it away.
They started 2023 falling short at lock-in, ending champions 2022, reigning and hosting the title over their head. But on this day, it's Loud's day as they have managed to dominate the competition week after week. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your first ever VCT Americas champions, Loud!
Champion, ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah, I put it all on the line. told me I wouldn't be nothing. Came on now, second to none. I need me a trophy, I need me a ring. I'm not with the bull, but keep it a beam. You know what it is, you know what I mean. Shit, all I do is win, 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 win. Haters wanna hate, they ain't made top 10. Double, triple team, what they need.
All right. Unbelievable. Congratulations. Guys, give it up one more time for Loud! First up, wanna get Tui's over here. Go ahead, Tashina, if you don't mind.
So I'm gonna start asking the question in English, then I translate to Portuguese to everyone. Man, your first tournament with Loud was back in locking. You almost made it. Now you got a 3-0, you got the title. Do you feel like a redemption? Agora em português. Seu primeiro campeonato na Loud foi lá no Loquinho, quase conseguiu, foi por pouco, mas agora você chega aqui, um 3-0, grande final. Sente que foi sua redenção?
Porra, é um sentimento, sei lá, não sei nem explicar, mas eu tô muito feliz. Ainda mais estar do lado desses caras que são muito foda e são muito parceiro e isso é louco, mano. Só tenho que agradecer a Deus e minha família por estar aqui.
It's a feeling I cannot express myself. He said some bad words in Portuguese. And then he just thanked the family, the friends, and these guys, they are insane.
All right, well, brother, come over here, man. Obviously, last year you had such an incredible season. How does it feel now to not only defeat NRG 3-0, but to be the first ever VCT Americas champions?
Cara, você teve um campeonato inteiro, muito legal, muito bom. Como é que você se sente de não só ter vencido, né, aqui a NRG, mas ter conseguido o primeiro título do VCT Américas?
Ah, com certeza é uma sensação muito maravilhosa, principalmente porque a gente venceu o primeiro VCT Américas, né, que com certeza vai entrar pra história por ser o primeiro. E ainda mais feliz por ter sido a gente, né, um time completamente brasileiro, por ter vencido um argentino ali, né, perdido. Mas muito feliz por ter conquistado isso.
The feeling is amazing because the first one is always come to the history.
Yeah.
And for being a Brazilian team and an Argentinian guy, it is even especially, so it's gonna be for this history.
All right, all right. Well, you know what? Let's get Aspas. Come on,
Aspas,
come in front of come in front of your trophy. This is your trophy. Congratulations. You have been unbelievable all season long, but today you had a team that had your back, and the weight of the world was not just on your shoulders, but you guys managed to perform. How does it feel to play on this stage with a team like this who always have your back?
Você foi incrível durante toda a temporada, mas hoje especificamente você tinha um time também te apoiando, os pesos não estavam todos nas suas costas. Como é que é ter um time desse todo te dando esse apoio?
Ah, o meu time é muito bom, é incrível essa sensação, porque eu sei que se eu não estiver matando, o meu time vai estar matando e a gente vai ganhar. Então é uma sensação incrível que é indescritível, e tá ganhando o primeiro VCT Américas é alguma coisa que provavelmente vai acabar ficando pra história.
My team is incredible. Even if I don't hit the shots, I know my team is gonna cover me up. And to be able to win the first VCT Americas is, of course, going to be in the history. So it's a feeling that is amazing.
Yeah. And what's the name of the little perrito over there?
Qual é o nome dos cachorros?
This one is Dogão, and this one is Doguinho.
Okay, I like that.
Dogão is big dog, Doguinho is little dog.
Ah, I see. Now, where's Calvin? Calvin, come over here.
Calvinzinho. Chega aqui, cadê?
Oh, there you are.
Eu tava olhando pra lá, cara.
I'm like looking around.
Let's go. I'm gonna do the question in English for you. Man, last year you were playing from NIP. You lost all the titles for Loud. Now you're here playing for Loud. How does it feel to play on the other side of the story? Calvinzinho, ano passado você perdeu as finais para Loud, jogando lá na NIP. Como é que você se sente ganhando seu primeiro título aqui agora, jogando pela Loud?
Cara, eu me sinto com sentimento de vingança por conta que as duas finais foi 3-0 e agora teve essa sensação de dar um 3-0 em um time muito bom que é a NRG. Então eu tô muito feliz com isso.
I feel like a revenge feeling because I lost the finals for Loud 3-0 back in Brazil, and now he 3-0 NRG, so it's a really emotional feeling.
Wow, unbelievable. And of course, we got to talk to the coach over here, Coach Fraud, leading this team, a legend. Give it up for Fraud, ladies and gentlemen. This guy, esports royalty. Fraud, congratulations, buddy. You and I had a lot of conversations at Lockett about what this team was capable of, but did you feel like when you landed here in Los Angeles, this is the result, this is what was going to happen?
Fraud, a gente teve muitas conversas lá no Loquinho sobre o nível desse time, mas você sentia que quando você chegou aqui em Los Angeles, era isso que iria acontecer?
Sí, 100%. Estamos trabajando muy duro.
Este time está muito dedicado, nada más que estamos tomando dia livre cada semana. Para nós esto es muy importante y para yo es muy importante también porque primer título para traer a la organización y siendo un coach, para mí es un placer y estoy muy orgulloso de los meninos porque están trabajando duro y esto es el resultado del trabajo.
Quer responder em inglês para se expressar melhor? Okay. he said that he was feeling that he could be the champion but when he come here the guys worked so hard for this, worked so hard for this time, so it's a feeling really special to be able to hear.
Now I'm sure a lot of you are probably wondering, well, why haven't we talked to Sadak? That's because he is the Grand Finals MVP!
Sério?
Congratulations, Sadak. You have been unbelievable all season long. You are the MVP. You're the best IGL in the world. You are unreal. How does it feel, brother, to not only be a world champion, but now to be an America's champion, and you're going to Tokyo to take on the rest of the world again?
Primeiro, parabéns, Sadak, né? Ganhou o MVP, que não estava acreditando que ganhou o MVP. E o Golden Boy perguntou, cara, você já era o campeão mundial, agora como é que você se sente sendo campeão das Américas e indo pra Tóquio com todo esse favoritismo aí?
Cara, papo reto, não sei por que ganhei o MVP, mas obrigado, viu, tropa? Papo reto. Muito obrigado. Se sente incrível. Eu acho que a gente estamos com grupo de trabalho incrível. Os meninos são muito talentosos, são incríveis realmente. Eu estou muito orgulhoso de cada deles. O Les também está crescendo muito também, como um IGL. E estou muito feliz.
First of all, I don't know why I'm the MVP, but thank you everyone who gave me the MVP. And the guys worked so hard. He's really proud of everyone on the team. Les is like a really good IGL. He's stepping up, so he's really happy about it.
Well, we've seen all across the regions, Liquid walking away with the EMEA Championship, PaperX winning as well. See, that's right. But you guys were you were the top of the leaderboard and won this event, and now you get ready for Masters. Do you feel like you're going to be able to take on the rest of the world in Tokyo?
Bom, a gente viu muitos upsets acontecendo nas outras ligas, né? A PaperX acabou ganhando da RX, a Liquid acabou vencendo a Fnatic, mas vocês foram os únicos que terminaram no topo da tabela e garantiram o título. Como é que você se sente aí? Tá com favoritismo para Tóquio?
Eu acho que, como sempre, trabalho duro, pé no chão e continuar confiando no que a gente está fazendo, que graças a Deus está dando certo. E é isso. Vamos ver esse Tóquio, que dá para fazer, dá para brincar pouquinho.
I think that's always like hard work, feet on the ground. We're gonna work so hard in Tokyo, and let's see what we can do in Tokyo.
Let's see what we can do. I love it. Well, guys, that's yours. These people are gonna go nuts for you, so raise the trophy up because you gotta give it up one more time for your America's champions. It's Loud!
There cannot be a more deserving champion in our inaugural season of VCT Americas than Loud. Mimi, from the minute go, they set the pace for the rest of the league, and yet they're still the first to cross the finish line.
From a near flawless regular season to an upper bracket run to the final, they've now 3-0'd NRG to continue their era of regional dominance. They never lost a tournament at home in Brazil, and they will continue that into this new era of VCT Americas.
And once again, history repeats itself with this matchup. Falling to NRG one time in the regular season, bringing it back with a clean sweep in the final to take home the trophy.
And just to tell you how special this team is, the IGL of all people top frags the grand finals over Auspus, over Les. They drop one map throughout their playoff run. One map, not even a series. They drop one best of three all stage. This team is indeed the final boss of our region.
And while they defined the meta with double controller and Harbor Viper throughout the regular season, in the playoffs, in the grand finals, they change things up. They continue to lead in innovation, pulling out a chamber on Bind, the Neon double controller comp on Fracture. They're so good at finding new ideas, and that's how they've stayed so relevant for so long.
And when you talk about the depth of talent on this team, listen, we could speak about Auspus and Les and what they've done with these guys all season, all day long if we wanted. But in these final moments, individually, their IGL, Sodhawk stepping up, earning himself that MVP, top fragging the series overall. 2E's, a guy who's kind of like a glue guy for this team, stepping up on map 1, map 2, tons of crucial kills.
0 weak points, absolutely 0. And then you have someone like Fraud in the coaching role, learning Portuguese a year ago. Sure, he grew up in a Cuban household, spoke Spanish, but my God, this guy answers questions in Portuguese after the game. I mean, he just fully immersed himself in the culture, and to see what he's done with this team in such a short time is unbelievable.
And for him and Sarakas at IGL to bring up another 2 young Brazilian players and bring them to championship winning level, this is a huge moment for 2E's and Cal and Zine. Les and Aspas are both young too, but they had their moment in Champions 2022. Now every single player on this squad, despite them all being so young, so fresh to this scene, have claimed a trophy, and Sadak has been there the whole time.
And Sean, he said on stage he's not quite sure why he was awarded the MVP. You already ran through a few of the stats that make him so deserving, but add to all of that, the fact that he is the leader of this squad, that he shouldered the burden of that comp switch here, right at the tail end of their run. Sadak takes on so much for this squad.
That is such a humble statement. It's so ridiculous. Like I said, this guy top frags the finals from the in-game leader role, picks Chamber of all agents in the second map on NRG's pick, top frags the map, changes the comps, is the IGL, creates the playbooks, is the emotional leader of the team when you watch them. He does it all. This guy is the GOAT IGL.
And at the end of Fracture as well, when things were getting close and it felt like NRG may have been able to pull them into a 4th map on Lotus, which would have been a good one for them, Sadha comes up with the ace clutch to just shut the map down entirely from that point. Just insane performance from that man today.
It's ridiculous. And as we've already seen through the other international leagues, it is hard to be the champion every time. Fnatic fell to Liquid. DRX fell to PaperX. Loud is the only squad who was the favorite coming in, who had a fantastic regular season, who actually closed out and won their international league heading into Tokyo.
Yeah, the target on their back just got bigger when it comes to international competition because this team continues to not lose. And on top of all of that, though, Sean, I don't want to undersell the closeness of this series. Yes, it was a 3-0 map score, 13-9, 13-11, 13-11. NRG did push them.
Oh, for sure. And this one's going to sting for NRG. This is going to be one they remember for quite some time, particularly through that group stage in Tokyo where they're going to have to be now. And although they did beat Loud in, the regular stage of the season, when it came to playoffs, this playoff Loud, they hit different in the clutches. And what I noticed NRG, they looked a little shaky at the end there on Fracture. So maybe going back, reevaluating their mental in these late tournament runs.
And what's crazy is before this entire thing started, we were talking about the history of this matchup, how close these teams were, both of them taking 4 series off of each other, the round differential being nearly identical. And at the end of this series, it's just so poetic that it's essentially the same as the first BO5 these two cores ever played against each other last year, last time at Reykjavik, map 1, NRG core won 13-9, and then the following 2 maps were both by a 2-round differential. The poetry is insane, and it's exactly what this rivalry deserves. It just feels like
the pendulum is swinging back and forth between these two squads.
It goes beyond the map scores, though. You got to remember, Loud had 2 vetoes today. What maps did they veto? The 2 maps that these teams played 2 weeks ago from today, right? So they took away probably a lot of prep that NRG had in the last 24 hours. That is something that totally blindsided NRG, I'm sure.
It's a difficult loss for NRG, but as we've seen from this rivalry in the past, no one can win 2 series in a row. I'm sure heading into the next 2 international events that both these teams will be at, and VCT Americas next year, NRG will want to get ahead in this rivalry yet again.
And let's be real, that's everything you want in a rivalry, when both teams are making each other better, right? It's not just one getting dominated and knocked down. These teams continue to push the pace when it comes to competitive Valorant. The first season of VCT Americas may be coming to an end, but we're just getting started. It's time to go international. Loud, NRG, and Evil Geniuses are heading to Masters Tokyo. They'll face off against the best from EMEA, the Pacific, and China, starting on June 11th. Here on your screens now, you can see the qualified teams to Masters.
And what's so exciting about the international scene this year, looking last year, it was all about this rivalry that we just witnessed, but now new contenders have entered that mix, and it's not just about Optic and Loud looking for revenge over each other. Loud are now looking for revenge over Fnatic, who got that comeback win against them. in Brazil. They are seriously looking to win this next series.
What's so cool about Tokyo that I'm looking forward to is we had all these teams qualify through so many matches. We have literally the top of the pie here. Like, this is the best possible. This is the best possible tournament right now, the way it's going to play out, and I am so excited.
And the stories are going to be so good. Team Liquid just won over an EMEA. That's the core of the Masters 3 champions last year that went on a run that disappeared in 2022. After a rough end to last year, PaperX is returning to the international stage with a Pacific title. So much has changed, yet this rivalry of NRG and Loud has stayed so constant, and there'll be 2 of those squads representing Americas. But still, that unexpected variable, EG being there, is going to be so cool.
I was going to say, and all those results that you just spoke of, right? I don't even know who would be considered the favorite anymore, because of course you would look to Fnatic from defending their lock-in title, but when they fall short at the final hurdle domestically, who's the front runner now, right? It's really hard to say. And of course, while those 3 teams are going to Masters Tokyo, for the teams that didn't qualify, they're going to be prepping for the last chance qualifier. We'll be back here in July on this very stage where our 7 remaining teams will fight for a slot at Champions Los Angeles. So there's still a lot of work to be done, Sean. And I think that, while they'll be looking, of course, towards the international stage to pull some learnings, it's time to go back into the, the tool shed and rework for these 7 teams who really want another shot at the big trophy at the end of the year.
It is a brutal format, but it's one of my favorite in all of esports, the LCQ, where one team can advance for champions and everyone else's year is over in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
It is the most brutal format, and I love it.
Yeah, and for Cloud9, they're just coming off a close loss, expecting to be at that international event. They'll be there. The squads who we had high expectations for but fell short in the regular season, teams like 100 Thieves, teams that surprised at the end of the season, like MIBR, all have a second chance to make it to champions.
Even Crew has a chance to redeem themselves. All those close games, one of them goes their way.
My boy,
honestly,
get on the
they could
Croupium
even make a run.
Get on the Croupium with me.
It would not even surprise me. It's insane.
I'm so jazzed by that. All right, well, that's going to do it for us. We, again, could not ask for a more deserving champion to our inaugural season of VCT Americas. I want to thank you all for watching this entire season along with us. We'll see you at Masters Tokyo and then America's LCQ. Check out our Prime Gaming VCT Americas playoff highlights coming at you in just a moment. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and be good to each other, all right? Good night.
It's the end of the season, and you know what that means. Playoff time, baby, because we have 10 teams that started the season with the same dream. Make it to Masters Tokyo, make it to Champions Los Angeles, and now that dream can become a reality.
The spike down, resetting. No one's watching him! And King, he claims his prize.
Now we're actually going to Tokyo. Now we're actually sending teams to champions. It's all finally here.
I put rollerblades on him. Context? You want context for why? No, you're not getting it. Half all the way, just needs to watch the angle shot. And it's Furia. They've come into the playoffs, here to stay. Furia with the win. Happy birthday to you, Sideshow as well. We got you a cake.
I'm joined by Demon One, who is a man of his word. It's time to go bald.
Ooh, the hit towards Ace still looks good. What a snap from the Stinger on Fnax.
But I forgot it's Bustio still with a Sheriff, and now it's not Shag. There's 1, 2, and 3. Easy kills there for Victor.
Versus NRG.
And we get an all-star Loud NRG banger. Peace. The look that we've got at the moment that's quite good, I think.
As Bustio gets fully blinded, but is still there for the Cavalry to support here, calm in the back of the site. Let's go! EG has seized the moment and they've upset NRG.
I think that looks pretty clean to me. I think that's a good shave.
This is definitely like the biggest day for the 4 teams playing for their entire season.
Furia chucking anything now at the wall to see if they can make it, but it matters not. And an ace to finish. Regardless of what happens from here on out, they've earned their spot to Masters Tokyo and Champs.
But they do get the space up long with that showstopper. But it's responded with one of their own.
Give it right!
Oh my God!
They prove lightning can strike the same place twice. Evil geniuses, welcome to Tokyo.
Now, it doesn't get more do or die than this. If you lose today, you're missing Masters Tokyo, and you have to wait for LCQ to even have a shot at Champions.
Presence in Garage, but QCK, oh my gosh! What is that? What on earth was that?
Ball and I have mind melded. The neural pathways have connected.
He's going for it. He missed. Oh, the last one counts. NRG elated that they've placated the fury of the Brazilians.
What is blood drawing? I mean, what? Are you looking at the health?
King's by himself in the back of Spawn. He does get 2 kills. He's looking for the third, and he's gonna get it.
First up, it's a Class Clown Award, my personal favorite.
He has
The
gotten
winner.
too silly throughout the season.
My heart is pounding right now.
But we're still holding strong for these last 2 kills. And C9 finally tamed the Sea Serpent and ends Leviathan's hope to Tokyo.
If you're a hater, I don't care. I'm still here getting paid to play, so...
This guy's getting paid?
It's all on the line today. The last spot at Masters Tokyo is up for grabs.
They're being sandwiched and squeezed now as well. Deep onto the side. Sadek's already there. He's gained that ground, but removed. A demon won! Speak of the devil, speak of the demon.
The biggest glow up. This one's gonna go to Evil Geniuses. That's right, they deserve it.
They don't know what they've been gifted here, but running, barreling. Com doesn't even know if they're sticking this. He has to run, he has to face, unless the final blow, and EG is sent down to the lowers. It's Loud who sail to the finals. Oh no, it's a gun! No, it's a gun again! It's a gun again!
This is going to be strong positions now. It's still Artis left and right with the dash activated. The fourth and NRG continue the era of the international events.
An amazing game played by both sides.
Think about how the season has played out. Doesn't it seem off to you? Doesn't it seem a bit weird?
I hate to break it to everybody here, but we're living in an alternate timeline. The luxury of multiple targets, the deep push down, crashes, and Som! Laying down the bullets, laying down the fire. Chosen, hello? Little on the nose, no? It's the time running down all the way, and it's all set up. From the flash, round the back, Boostio. 13-11, map 1 under their belt.
They dominated NRG on it. They beat them 13-7.
Oh, no! He can't quite take the fight here, but he waits it out anyway. Plenty of time left for Som. He picks it. That's it! Dread it! Run from it! NRG versus Loud is inevitable.
So if you think about it, we kind of lucked out a little bit being in the non-apocalypse timeline a little bit, didn't we, Josh?
It is finally time for the first ever VCT Americas Grand Final. It has all come down to this.
The title is on the line, and it's Sadak versus Finesse, Loud versus NRG, El Clásico.
Les collecting the first out. He gets another. They're going to hold this thing. It's a 2v4. What a round from Loud.
Let me tell you about Loud. They're my favorite VALORANT team, all right?
The spams, they're just fighting. Oh my
Som with the ace. The resistance keeps the distance.
My eyes have just been violated by what's happening on this screen.
Loud take map 1. Som flash. Turn 2. The third for Som. Crashes. Who's going to have to clutch it out to keep it alive?
It's a match.
No way.
And it's now 2. It's now 1. Can Som do it on his own? 1, but not able to get the second. Heavy the crown, but steady the vision for Loud. They put NRG on series point.
Do you see that? He's doing the L hand sign.
Artis getting one with the op. Peeks behind the wall and it's netted to kill his Artis. Looking to take lives with the knives, and he does!
We dedicated, we smart, we loyal. Don't ask about the context.
Here. But the swing out from Sadak with the flash. Waiting. Crosshair trade!